I put Nikola, Jokic, and Joel Embiid into the 90s to see who would have the better career, and this is what happened. The year is 1992 and Joel Embiid has officially been drafted 3rd to the Minnesota Timberwolves and Jokic has been drafted 4th to the Dallas Mavericks. Which means that Shaq goes 1st to the Magic and Alonzo Mourning goes 2nd to the Hornets. And it will be Nikola Jokic winning the Rookie of the Year, and he had averages of 17.5 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Joel Embiid also had a very impressive rookie season where he had averages of 17.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Both the T-Wolves and the Mavs were super stinky in their first couple seasons, but that did lend the T-Wolves a top pick in the 94 draft, who they ended up selecting Jason Kidd. The two-man game between Kidd and Embiid is about to be lethal. And already in year number 4, Joel Embiid has won his very first MVP with averages of 27 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks. While Embiid and the Timberwolves were winning MVPs, Jokic and the Mavericks were stinking it up, but that did land him a top pick in the 96 NBA draft, who they ended up selecting the answer, Allen Iverson. And in year number 5, just 1 year after Embiid, Jokic has won his very first MVP with averages of 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. And for the first time in their careers, Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic will have a head-to-head matchup against one another in the Western Conference Finals. And this time it will be Joel Embiid and the Timberwolves beating out Jokic and the Mavericks in 6 games as Joel advances to his very first NBA Finals. And in that head-to-head matchup, Joel Embiid had averages of 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks, while Nikola Jokic had averages of 28.5 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 10 assists. And in this NBA Finals, Joel Embiid will be facing off against the Philadelphia 76ers led by Hershey Hawkins and Vin Baker. And it will be Joel Embiid and the Timberwolves beating out the 76ers in 6 games to win the 1997 NBA Finals, as Joel Embiid wins his very first NBA championship. And in that Finals, Joel Embiid was the MVP and he had averages of 22.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks. The year is 1998 and Nikola Jokic has just won back-to-back MVPs. This time around, he had averages of 27 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 9 assists. And for the second time in their careers, Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid will be facing off against each other once again in the Western Conference Finals. And this time around, it will be Jokic and the Mavericks beating out Joel Embiid and the T-Wolves in 7 games as Jokic advances to his very first NBA Finals. And in that head-to-head matchup, Nikola Jokic had averages of 22.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 9 assists, while Joel Embiid had averages of 25.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And in this Finals, Jokic will be facing off against the Atlanta Hawks led by Tracy McGrady and Peja Stojakovic. And it will be Nikola Jokic and the Dallas Mavericks beating out the Atlanta Hawks in 5 games to win the 1998 NBA Finals as Nikola Jokic wins his very first NBA championship. And in that Finals, Jokic was the MVP and he had averages of 25.5 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Another year and another MVP for Jokic. This is his 3rd straight, and this time he had averages of 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. Not only that, but he led his Dallas Mavericks to an astonishing record of 75-7. This is the best record that I have seen on any sim. And for the 3rd straight year, we get to see a head-to-head matchup between Jokic and Embiid in the Western Conference Finals. They are 1-1 against one another in these head-to-heads, so let's see who's gonna break the tie. And it will be Nikola Jokic beating out Joel Embiid in 7 games to advance to the NBA Finals. And in that head-to-head matchup, Jokic had averages of 27 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 8 assists, while Joel Embiid put up a stinker, only averaging 19 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And in this Finals, Jokic will be facing off against the Washington Wizards led by Kobe Bryant and Tim Hardaway. And it will be Nikola Jokic and the Mavericks beating out the Wizards in 5 games to win the 1999 NBA Finals as Jokic Jokic completes his legendary season and wins his second NBA championship. And after spending 8 years in Minnesota, Joel Embiid has left in free agency to join the New York Knicks and team up with Chauncey Billups and Paul Pierce. And in his first season as a member of the New York Knicks, Joel Embiid has finally made it back to the NBA Finals, where he will be facing off against the Dallas Mavericks led by none other than Nikola Jokic. And it will be Joel Embiid and the Knicks beating out Jokic and the Mavericks in 7 games as they win the 2001 NBA Finals, and Joel Embiid wins his second NBA championship. And in that finals, Joel Embiid was the MVP, and he had averages of 31.5 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks, while Nikola Jokic had averages of 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. The year is 2002, and it has only been 1 year removed since the last time Jokic has been in the NBA Finals, but he is now back. This time around, he'll be facing off against the Atlanta Hawks with their big three of Tracy McGrady, Peja Stojakovic, and Nick Van Exel. And it will be the Dallas Mavericks beating out the Atlanta Hawks in 5 games to win the 2002 NBA Finals as Nikola Jokic wins his 3rd NBA championship. Jokic was the MVP of that finals, and he had averages of 28 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 9 assists. The year is 2003, and it has been 2 years since the last time Jokic and Embiid have matched up in the NBA Finals, but they are now both back. Jokic is in search for ring number 4, and Embiid is in search for ring number 3. And it will be Joel Embiid and the Knicks beating out Jokic and the Mavericks in 7 games to win the 2003 NBA Finals as Joel Embiid wins his 3rd NBA championship. Embiid wasn't the MVP of the finals, but he still had really good averages of 26.5 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks, while Jokic had averages of 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. It has been 3 years since the last time Jokic and the Mavericks have been in the NBA Finals, but they are now back. This time around, they'll be facing off against the Miami Heat with their big three of Jason Kidd, Paul Pierce, and Chris Bosh. And it will be Nikola Jokic and the Dallas Mavericks beating out the Heat in 7 games to win the 2006 NBA Finals as Nikola Jokic wins his 4th NBA championship. Jokic wasn't the MVP of the finals because of Allen Iverson, but he still had a very good series with averages of 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 10.5 assists. And after spending 6 seasons in New York, Joel Embiid has decided to leave in free agency and rejoin back up with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The T-Wolves look drastically different because this time around he'll be playing alongside a prime Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. It has been 5 years since the last time we've got to see a head-to-head matchup between Jokic and Embiid, but they are finally facing off against one another once again, and this time it'll be in the 2nd round of the 2008 playoffs. And it will be Jokic and the Mavericks beating out Embiid and the T-Wolves in 5 games to advance to the conference finals. And in that head-to-head matchup, Nikola Jokic had averages of 26.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 11.5 assists, while Joel Embiid had averages of 31 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. And after 22 years pro at the age of 40, both Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid have officially retired. Jokic was a 3-time MVP, 4-time NBA champion, 15-time All-Star, and a 17-time All-NBA player. Embiid was a 1-time MVP, 3-time NBA champion, 14-time All-Star, and a 14-time All-NBA player. Joel Embiid finished 3rd with the most points scored all time with 36,900, while Nikola Jokic finished 5th with the most points scored all time with 36,000. Jokic finished 3rd with the most free throws made all time with 7,700, while Joel Embiid finished 7th with the most free throws made all time with 7,000. Joel Embiid finished 3rd with the most rebounds all time with 18,100, while Nikola Jokic finished 6th with the most rebounds all time with 17,200. Nikola Jokic was 2nd with the most assists all time with 14,100. Joel Embiid was 4th all time with the most blocks with 3,400. Jokic finished 2nd with the most minutes played all time with 56,600, and Joel Embiid was 3rd with the most minutes all time with 56,500. And Nikola Jokic has the most triple doubles of all time with 277. If you stuck around to the end, make sure you guys like and follow and comment down below which scenario you want to see re-simulated next.